Hello, Ram fans, and welcome to another edition of Meet the Rams Above the Rim, a bi-weekly show we're going to be doing here with the women's basketball program. As always, to my right for this show is the head coach of women's basketball, Scott Hyland. How are you doing today?
Doing good, James.
Great. It looks like you came in a little underdressed since our last episode.
I actually have practice, in practice right now, and it's just a regular, normal Wednesday as opposed to Halloween. So we're in just regular garb tonight.
Well, Scott, let's get into this season so far. Now, why don't you give us a little recap about what you think this team's doing and where we're going?
Sure. You know, we won our first four. I thought we were making some pretty good progress. Still not quite where we wanted to be. And then actually over the last two games that we've lost, we've seen some really good improvement. Practices have been a little bit sharper. We're executing offensively better. We've slid a little bit defensively. And again, playing two quality opponents in William Carey and Loyola of New Orleans, both of which probably going to be NAI national tournament teams. So, some things were exposed that we've got to get better at. We're working on those. We really are doing some good things. I've been really pleased with the progress and looking forward to our conference opener tomorrow.
Now, I know you're coming in here. You talked about you have people you recruited in here, but there's also 5 or 6 girls that were left over for Bernita's squad last year.
Yep.
What are you learning from everything so far in this season? Have you had a good evaluation on what you can see this team have?
You know, one of the things that has been a little bit hard to get used to is the court time that we have available to us is 2 hours, as opposed to where I've been, where we had not only our 2-hour block for practice, but about 4 to 5 hours in the morning that we could bring them in, work with them individually, and really get to know them. So not having that time, it's taken a little bit longer to get a feel for what different people can do, what parts of their game are their strong suits, what parts can we improve on, and help them moving along. So it has been a process. I think it's starting to fall into place as we're, again, getting a better feel for what they can and cannot do well, and like I said, these past few days of practice, we're really starting to see some things take shape, especially on the offensive end. And so I think we're headed in the right direction. Hopefully, this is the time now. These next 22 games, there's no looking back. We got to keep getting better and better and putting some wins together.
Now, I'm going to pose the same question I posed to Brendan last week in the show we did with him. And when I talked to him, it's a very peculiar thing because y'all are the only sport that's on campus that basically has 2 seasons to it. I asked him, because you have these breaks with Thanksgiving, you have the break with Christmas going into the spring semester, how do you keep your girls engaged when there is not a lot going on?
Great question. One of the things that we'll do in practice is create game-like situations. Throughout practice. We might start a practice off with, all right, boom, you guys down to minute 10 to go, they have the ball, play. Just all of a sudden, okay, man, we got to get in, engaged, and then there's always going to be consequences, so they want to win. We'll do some little things like that. We'll, coming back here over Christmas break when we do return, we've, in the past, I've always had the team over for dinner. We'll feed them breakfast right before our morning workout. We'll feed them lunch in between workouts, and then they'd always come over to the house for dinner, and we'd do stuff at the house. Well, I still live an hour away, so I don't want them on the road driving. So we'll figure some things out. We'll maybe have some movie nights or find something to do with them, in the evening. Sometimes, too, they just want to get as far away from Coach as they possibly can. And so me going home and letting them just be by themselves sometimes is good. And that's, as I tell my staff and young coaches trying to, break into the business, there's so many things that, they're not going to tell you in, coaching school or, the book, the textbook that you're reading doesn't teach you. There's a lot of things that are just feel and understanding what student athletes need a hug and which ones just need space and which ones kind of need a little push in the back and we got to move harder is a lot of just experience and feel and so when we get to that time in Christmas, it's there's a lot of excitement usually early on. Everybody's enjoying being around each other, and then as a coach, you've got to know when, okay, they're getting tired of me. I need to get away, and they need time together. There's times, again, we need to go, let's go do something as a group. And so to, again, to get that togetherness feeling back together. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. It's one of those you can plan, but it never seems to go the way it's supposed to. It becomes more of a by feel thing. So.
Now, Scott, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. Before we get into talking about the conference opener we're going to have, we had the conference poll that came out this preseason. It put us in the middle of the pack there. Mm-hmm. I think I know what your answer is going to be, but do you see that as a legitimate finishing position for us or not?
Well, I think we'll finish better, knowing what we've been able to accomplish thus far. The quality of opponents that we've played. When I look across the conference, there's maybe only one other team that's played a schedule like we have going in. Also having a good feel for again what we do, the depth we have, and then arguably one of our better players, definitely our best point guard, hasn't even stepped foot on the court yet. We'll get Amani Mitchell back here hopefully in a couple of weeks. And that will add a whole new dynamic to us. We're already, again, starting to work her into practice a little bit, and she's a game changer for us. So, no, that was about what I figured. I figured around 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. We'll see how it goes from there. Like I said, it's, on paper, everybody can make themselves look good. You got to get on the court and play. And we've, I think with what we do, we're a tough team to prepare for. We're a tough team, I think, going to be a tough team to play against with our style and the number of people we run out there. And so, again, it's going to take some work for people to get accustomed to us. We're just going to keep doing what we do, and we'll see where the chips fall.
So I'm going to go back. You talked about the schedule and talking about how you had a schedule, I guess, a tougher schedule than some of the other conference opponents had. Is that something that you do on a purpose to try to drive the team?
Yeah, I've just like anything else, like you have an offensive strategy, a defensive strategy, you got a recruiting strategy. We have a scheduling strategy, and the schedule that I inherited. We were fortunate enough to be able to move a few pieces around. Some pieces got moved for us, but we were able to play a very good opponent in LSU Shreveport right from the get-go. Let's find out where we're at, and that was kind of what we wanted to do. And then, okay, here's 2 or 3 games now where, all right, we can work on some things, let's get better, and then let's get a couple of good tests. And William Carey and Loyola provided those tests, and now have, again, kind of brought some things to light that we've needed to improve on as we get into the conference schedule. And so, no, it's we would have loved to have won another game or two, but it's really worked out well in that we've learned a lot about our team. It's helped us improve, and at the same time, the girls have gotten a little bit of a feel for what it is we're doing and what it's going to take to be successful.
Now, talking about the conference schedule, you and the men's team are going to open conference play on November 30th at the Sid Richardson Center against the University of Texas at Dallas. You just want to talk a little bit of a scouting report on that team and what you see with the film on them?
Yeah, they've got one very dynamic player, Cormier, number 2, who's back from last year, can really score the ball, very good shooter. She's one that we definitely have, we've got to pay attention to. We cannot lose her. A couple other girls are capable. They're going to really guard us. Again, if we're doing, though, what we should, create some tempo, really some good pressure in our press, and in the half court, I think we can create some turnovers, get out and run. And then we should be able to execute offensively. As I said earlier, I've really liked what we're doing in practice offensively, the progress we're making. And hopefully we'll see some of that continue throughout the game tomorrow as well as into these next few games before the Christmas break.
Now, last week when we had Brennan in here, it was right before we went to Thanksgiving, and I asked him on that show to tell us what he was thankful for. Since we're doing this show of yours right before we go on break for Christmas, what are your Christmas wishes for this year? And it doesn't have to be anything school-related.
You know, one is just for our team to stay healthy. We've battled so many injuries. I've got 4 of our better players right now are sitting on the sidelines, you know, not practicing. 2 of them we won't get back this season. You know, 1 will hopefully be, I'm hoping, in practice today. Amani will get back here again in a couple of weeks. And so, you know, hopefully we can get everybody healthy, keep people healthy. You know, the other one is just for the team to continue to grow and develop individually as well as a unit. As I've told them many times, we've got a lot of potential. We could be a very good team, but it's going to take some work. It's going to take a lot of dedication and commitment. But if we are that team, you know, we're going to find a way to get it done. You know, other than that, I just, you know, my wife has just been so supportive of the move, and just so grateful for her, and you know, and our 2 boys that you know, are out in the real world right now. One's a Marine, and you know, one's working,